風が運ぶ約束と違い優しい世界を信じられたなら願いが人をつなぐとき心に芽生えた花木漏れ日をたどって見つけたのは無数に伸びた道と日が集う出会いだった雪が浮きどこでに答えよ空を漂う星の願い思い乗せた夢はいつか届くかな遥か遠く離れた場所でもたどり着けるんだ君となら
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? We are starting something new today. Let's see if I can get the actual pronunciation of this game correctly. Atelier Resleriana, I think is how that is pronounced. The Red Alchemist and the White Guardian. If you guys have been watching the channel for a while, you would know I love the Atelier series. They're just really fun, wholesome, sort of collecting and crafting games. Always just have nice fun stories. The development team has been crushing it. I mean, I'm honestly surprised we got another Atelier game so soon, because it was earlier this year we got Atelier Umia, which I thought was going to be the start of a new trilogy, because, you know, this is how the series is always kind of, as far as I've been introduced to the series, because I was introduced in the Arland trilogy, and I really only know the first game out of that trilogy. I've seen, you know, playthroughs and maybe bits and pieces of the other two in the Arland trilogy. I know before that was the Dusk trilogy, and I've played around a little bit with the first game in that one. I have played all of the Sophie trilogy. I believe that is the Secret trilogy. I played Sophie, Fetus actually being my favorite of, I think, I had to think about this one for a second. I go back and forth between Fetus being my favorite of the franchise and Lead and Sue, the one right after that one, being my favorite. I've played Atelier Sophie 2, which is a more direct sequel to Sophie. And then then we had the Ryza trilogy, which I played all three. We have Umia, which I'm playing on the channel. I'm gonna eventually finish my playthrough of the Ryza trilogy on the channel, and now we're gonna be playing this one. Sorry, I know I just kind of went off on my own little tangent there, but essentially what I'm saying is I fucking love this franchise, and I'm really excited for a new one, especially this one actually gets back to its turn-based roots. And if you know me, I'm a sucker for a turn-based JRPG. So I guess in honor of that, unlike the Ryza series or the Umia series, we're going to be doing commentary for this one. I'm going to sit and actually try and play this game with commentary for you guys. There are probably going to be certain videos maybe I won't if they're just specifically crafting and collecting focused, but, you know, we'll play that one by ear. All in all, after playing this game for about 2-ish hours, I gotta say, I'm really liking it so far. I definitely like the turn-based system. It's nice, tight, snappy. It's everything you want out of turn-based. I mean, you know me. I'm a sucker for it. I love it. I'm liking the concept, because it looks like we're going to be kind of like fixing up a town in this game, which is actually really similar to another Atelier game. That one wasn't a real Atelier game, I would say it like that. it was kind of weird. You played as almost like it was almost like a city management. Like, they bring in characters. They're being brought in from different dimensions, and they're all characters from the different games in the franchise. One of those kind of deals. So, it was kind of one of those, hey, fans of the series, buy this game, and, you get to see all these characters. This game, from the box art and some of the trailers, kind of made me go, oh, holy shit, they're doing that again. Which actually really had me fearing that this game was a gacha game. It is not. It is not a gacha game. Even though a Google search might tell you something different, because there is another Atelier Resleriana with a different subtitle that was a gacha game that shut down in 2025, earlier this year, and they share the same, kind of like trilogy or series tag. So the Resleriana, they share that, but that's it. This game is not gacha. It is standalone. You do not need to play the gacha game to understand this game. This is totally its own story, unique. I'm pumped. I've been rambling enough about this, but I am going to say one more thing. I'll maybe put a timestamp if I remember to do this in editing to tell you this, but I wanted to kind of tell you guys my plan for the next couple days, because we have new stuff abound. Because we have Ghost of Yote tomorrow, and then on the 3rd is Digimon Time Stranger? I think that's the title. I might have the title slightly off, but either way. And I was thinking how I want to do this, because I'm getting the collector's edition for Yote, but I have to wait for it to come in the mail, which, it should be here tomorrow. Wait. Yes, because this video will come out on the 1st. Sorry, dates are hard. So, my copy of Yote should come in tomorrow, but I think I'm going to start the Yote LP on the 3rd and start Digimon tomorrow. If your question is, well, AJ, how are you going to start Digimon tomorrow? I already have it recorded. I just needed to get it done in editing. I have a playthrough of the demo, which is like the first couple hours. So we'll start with some of the demo footage tomorrow for Digimon Time Stranger. The 3rd I will dedicate entirely to Yote, and then the 4th on, then we'll keep, get back onto the schedule. So that is the plan. I hope you guys are excited for this. Hope you guys are ready. So enjoy. All right, guys, let's get started. So first thing that we see here, and this is actually something that hasn't been in the franchise to my recollection since the Dusk trilogy, because that game has you actually decide whether you want to play as the female lead, who is an alchemist, or the male lead who does something similar to alchemy but is not an alchemist. While I was playing this, my brain was I was racking my brain. It was like, does this series, is alchemy like a gender-locked art in this franchise? But no, it is not, because Ryza was taught by a male alchemist. So, first moment, chased by a giant pony. So yes, we picked the play as our alchemist, Rias. I'm gonna guess that there's gonna be slight differences in the story, but all in all, it's gonna be pretty much the same. Because the way it worked in the Dusk trilogy, it was the same thing. It was, you could pick each one, so it kind of changes the perspective at the start of the game. But once you team up, it's pretty much the same game, because they're not a protagonist. Is it a deuteragonist? Is that the proper term for a dual protagonist story? Sorry, I know I'm talking over the dialogue, but clearly this is an English-speaking channel, and the game's in Japanese, so, we got the subtitles. That is a change since Lead and Sue that I have not been a fan of, is not putting in an English track. I know. AJ, you know, just what's wrong with it? I don't like to read, guys. It's not that I hate reading, it's just... God, it's something as I'm getting older. I think it's like my patience for reading has gone down. It's just like it does not hold my attention like it used to. Like, I used to love to read when I was a kid. But just something as an adult, it has not grabbed me. So, I gotta say, I really like Rias's personality. She's super positive, just that, you know, it's like, ooh, nose for adventure kind of character. Yeah, she's pretty silly. I like her. Though I will say this, when we get introduced to Slade, he's not your typical, you know, stoic, angry, kind of like the Guardian to the Alchemist kind of character. No, he's got some personality of his own. You know, I mean, he's very respectful, very, you know, a nice guy, but, you know, if anybody's wondering, yes, I did get the deluxe edition or whatever of this game, because, you know me, I'm a fanboy for this franchise. So we will be starting with extra materials and items and stuff like that. Usually I don't like to do that when I do Let's Plays, but the whole thing with this series is you really can't separate, you can't separate out the bonus items you get from like pre-orders or DLCs or anything like that, like you could with a lot of games. Like this one, they're just given to you right from the start, kind of like you've seen. So if you wonder what the hell I'm doing here, I'm just pressing buttons. What does what? Oh, it's so nice being back in turn-based. I fucking love it, man. You know me. I love me some turn-based. This game actually, though, I do think has a really interesting system here. So instead of having an SP bar, you know, for your skills, you have AP, which is carried over from battle to battle, which you gain by performing normal attacks. It'll change a little bit as we get into it. Once we actually get into, you know, being able to start combat in the field, so you get an AP bump at the start of the battle and everything. And it's not hard to gain an AP and keep your AP up, except that like in boss fights, you know, you can chunk through them pretty quick. But just regular fights, it's pretty easy to keep your AP up, as far as I've experienced so far. Granted, I'm like 2 hours in, so, you know. But it's a simple, tight turn-based system. I know it's always... Saying that is kind of like, well, of course, if you're going to make a turn-based game, you know, the turn-based system's going to be good. Look, I feel that turn-based is an equation that has been solved. I'll phrase it like that, because I know so many people who don't like turn-based games. To me, maybe it's because it was the games that I adored when I was growing up. Maybe it's just the weird tactical element to it. The weird thing that I love menus in video games, if you know me. I personally love turn-based. I think just because it is such just a simple thing to get your head around, and then you can spice it up with different mechanics. You know, you got that weird. Sometimes I think you can go a touch too far. Final Fantasy VIII, for example, you know, with its, I forget what system that was, but that system I think got a little overly complicated at times. I feel that you can also go way too simple with your turn-based, but all in all, the basic structure of a turn-based game, I think, as I said, is kind of it's an equation that's been solved. But it's just, and especially, excuse me, with this franchise, but it's just so nice to kind of get back into that turn-based feel when the series has been trying to move towards more of a real-time tactics system. Because I wouldn't say that they've gone into a full-blown action game, because they haven't been, but their combat is moving to more real-time, and this sort of like halfway. And I understand that change. I understand why games are trying to do it. It's because, well, it kind of gives battle this flow, and just because a lot of people's complaints with turn-based is that it feels janky. But I don't know, man. I feel like when it's either make it a full-blown action game or make it turn-based. I don't like this like middle ground. It's kind of a, I mean, I'll play it and I'll enjoy it, but it's still, I'd rather it be one or the other, if that makes sense. So we're seeing a mechanic here where on the timeline there will be, you know, you'll get HP, a status effect, a boost here or there. This is something that the Trails series does. You know, personally, the one that I have the most knowledge with is Trails of Cold Steel. Did this, and that's where I kind of I fell in love with this concept of manipulating the timeline to be able to get the buffs. I think that's a really cool system. Usually I don't see it in a full-blown turn-based game, but honestly, it's not bad here. I haven't really gotten anything that can really affect kind of like where you play in the timeline, except, you know, hey, I'm going to use a basic attack over a skill. And if you also notice something else, when you're using a skill against a monster, it will give you their weaknesses off rip. I'm not a huge fan of that, just because I like the idea of finding them out, at least make me battle them once before it. But in terms of combat, quote-unquote, you know, to me, Atelier has never been the most... What makes Atelier fun and everything is the story, is the crafting. I think it's actually more important that you make the alchemy system feel good, which I think is something that's kind of been degrading a touch over the past while. Like the alchemy system in Yumiya, it's okay. Personally, I really liked it in Lead Sue. I really liked it in Sophie. Fierce was good. I thought the Rises were hit and miss. I think 2 was the best. I need to play 3 again, and maybe compare it to 1. Jeez, now that I think about it, Rise of 1 is getting a DX version. God, that's weird. If you're wondering what I mean by when it's getting a DX version, all of the... There's like DX collections of the Dusk trilogy, the Arlen trilogy, and the I'm just gonna say Secret trilogy, Sophie trilogy. Essentially, the DX is like a remaster. It includes a few more like side stories, and I think with Rise of DX, I think they're adding a new playable character that you can join your party and everything, so it's going to be a slightly different game, which, you know, good on them. I know, I'm talking about one thing and the characters going on. It's all, hey, look, we're in this ruins, this place is cool. Yeah, as I was saying, I personally, to me, I think that what really matters with an Atelier game is its alchemy and how fun it is exploring and everything. Combat is almost secondary, so that's why I'm like, maybe I'm not a big fan that the combat is made a little easy because you just see what they're weak against. But at the same time, it's like I said, I don't think combat is necessarily where Atelier stands out. I also really like their monster design. It's very cute. Very, Dragon Quest. I adore Dragon Quest's monster design. Okay, so getting introduced to the stun bar, which really is more of a thing when facing like the larger, kind of more boss or mini-boss enemies. And as you're seeing, there's only one character on the field. Once we start filling out the party, I believe you can have 3 on the field. You'll get explained why they're doing this kind of one-in-one sort of thing in a moment. Sorry, I'm a touch distracted here. I am getting told I need to go finish mowing my backyard after I am done with this. We're getting some rain or something coming in a little later, and we've let the backyard get way out of hand, so I gotta go finish. I gotta go hack down the forest. So, introducing the TP and multi-action. This is actually kind of interesting. So essentially you can set up multiple skills to be used in one turn. You use up a TP, and essentially you can combo your skills back to back. If you're wondering why is this guy acting even though we stunned him, pretty much until they have their next action after a stun, they're just more susceptible to damage. You gain TP and everything, through combat. You can also do some cool item stuff that we'll see in the next video or the video after with multi-actions and everything. I don't use it a lot so far, just because up to where I've played, you only have Slade and Rias, so I just keep them both active in combat. because you can chunk through it faster than having to play with the, swapping back and forth. So I was halfway through through a thought. I was talking about, well, I mean, yes, I know I was talking about my yard work, but that is, I know I said at the beginning of this video that we will be doing commentary for this series, and while long-term that is correct, next video, sadly it is the longer of these two videos, will probably be no commentary, just because when I have to mow our backyard, I end up sucking up a lot of dust, and it messes with my lungs, so, and I don't think you guys want to listen to me cough and wheeze through that video, so forgive me if that second video today is no commentary for that reason.
全然信じてないって顔してるけど。
自分の胸に聞いてみたらどうだ。それはそうと、なぜこんなところにいた。
あんたこそどうしてこんなところに。
俺はとある遺跡が本当に存在するか確かめるためにこの地へやってきた。そしてその遺跡とはどうやらここのようだ。君を助けるために飛び降りたらこれは予想外だな。
へえ、よかったじゃん。でもそれってさ、私のおかげで遺跡を見つけられたってこと。ごめん、続けて。い
や、確かにその考えにも一理あるかもしれない。君の叫び声が森に響き渡っていなければここには来なかっただろうし、ゴーレムが暴れなければ穴もできてない。偶然だが君がやらかしたおかげで遺跡を見つけられたのは事実だ。
そっか、やっぱりそうだよね。
なんだ
それってさ、運命の出会いってやつじゃない？
いきなり何を言い出すんだ。
というわけで、私を探索の相棒にしない？依頼料とかはいらないよ。
そういう意味か。紛らわしい。却下。
よーし、そうと決まれば早速あの扉を調べてみよう。
待て、人の話を聞け。俺は君とは行かない。君は町へ戻るんだ。
戻るわけないじゃん。ここで会ったが100年
目。意味わからずノリで言ってるだろ。とにかく俺はもう行く。急いでるんだ。
あ、待って。実は私ね、本当のことを言うと町には戻れないんだ。
なんだ、どうしたんだ。町で何かあったのか。
それがさ、この遺跡に入ってすぐプニに追いかけられたせいで出口がどこにあるかわからなくなっちゃって、だから先に進むしかないんだよね。それにほら、スレイだって帰るときは出口探さなきゃでしょ。だったら一緒に探した方がよくない？ 2人なら2倍だよ。成功率も速さも多分2倍。
いかん、頭痛が。この子はなんでこんなに楽天的なんだ。
それに見てよ、あの扉。あれこそ夢の塊ね。わかるよね。あの扉を前にして撤退するなんて冒険者として失格よ。
それは単なるお前の感想だろ。
スライはこの遺跡の秘密を何か知ってるんでしょ。ここは昔何があったの？あの扉の奥に何があるの？
知らん。そもそもここが本当に俺の目指している遺跡かどうかもまだ分かっていないんだが。
だったらなおさら早く扉まで行って調べてみようよ。
おい、まったく てやつだ。この調子だと何を言ってもついてくるな。
No, get used to this, buddy. This is how your relationship with her is going to play out for the rest of the game.
できれば巻き込みたくなかったんだが。
She is going to run into danger, and you are just gonna have to back her up.
すまん相棒。戻るのにもう少しだけ時間がかかりそうだ。一人で勝手に行くな。罠があるかもしれないだろう。
楽しみだな。あの扉開くかな。あの先には何があるんだろう。すごい。近くで見ると本当にでっかい。これは間違いなく大発見だよ。戻ったら町の人たちに知らせなくちゃ。
それはやめろ。危険すぎる。
なんで。やっぱりスレイ、この遺跡のこと何か知ってて私に隠してるでしょ。
隠し事はしてない。ただここが俺の。
I'm not hiding anything. I'm just on a mysterious journey that I haven't told you everything about with a mystical item that will open this door.
それってどういう。
言葉の通りだ。まだ古の機構が稼働してる。その辺の遺跡にあるような残骸とは違う。
何それ。すっごい。それって大発見ってことだよね。
そう単純なものじゃないんだが。
よーし、そうと分かれば早速中へ。
おい待て。気安く。
What did I just say, dude? You're welcome to how your relationship is going to work out. She is going to just drag you along into adventure. Just go with it.
びくともしない。
何事もなくてよかったが、この扉やはり他と質感が違うな。それに何かを感じる。
今の何。光がブワーってなったけど。ねえスレイ、その腕は何なの。ちょっとすごすぎるんだけど。何やったの。
俺は何もしてない。腕輪が遺跡に反応しただけだ。この腕輪は、これは両親の形見だ。腕輪は父の、腕輪についてる石、ガイストコアは母のな。
形見。
ガイストコアが反応した。ならばやはりここが、あの男の言っていたことは全て正しかったということか。
スレイ、動く。
ああ、どうやら封印が解けたようだな。
行ってみよう。
魔物の類はいないようだな。
I'll say this. Coolest atelier in the franchise.
すごい。
Design-wise, concept-wise, that goes to Fierus with the traveling atelier. I thought that was really cool. Well, the constellations and everything in this one, absolutely amazing.
大丈夫。ねえスレイ、これって一体。
これはもしかして錬金釜か。
錬金釜。
いや、確証はない。だが 俺はここに来る前ルイネ州にいたんだ。そこでは錬金術について書かれた書物をいろいろと読んだ。この釜の形や模様はその書物の何冊かに描かれていた錬金釜の絵ととてもよく似ている。釜以外の装置は文献でも見たことがないが、まさかここは錬金術のアトリエなのか。
Yeah, it is.
錬金術のアトリエなんだろう。私こんな窯もこの部屋も今まで一度も見たことないけどないのに。なんでかな、なんでかはわからないけど、ここにいるととても懐かしい気持ちになるの。
リアス、
この時の私はまだ何も知らなかったけど、私の心はもうすでに気づいていたんだ。ここから私の人生が大きく動いていくことを、そしてあの街がこれから大きく変わろうとしていることを。
Okay, so now that is an interesting little thing there where she says, this town that I love so much, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna guess that there's going to be a whole, like, almost like town building mechanic in this game because, you know, once we actually get into this town, you'll see that it's really dilapidated and everything. So I'm really interested to see where this story is gonna go. Again, my first 2 hours with the game, I still haven't gotten into any of that stuff. But I'm really excited. I really like some of the stuff that I have seen so far, and I can't wait to keep sharing it with you guys. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this first part. Kind of the prologue. Chapter 1 starts in the next video. As I said, probably won't be commentary, just because, again, I gotta go do some yard work. I apologize for that. But, yeah, I think that's really all I got with you guys for today. So thanks for watching. Social media in the description. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. See you on the next one. Till then, guys, I'm out.